Hello and welcome to O and the Town preview podcast. Today I'm delighted to have with us Mike from Block 9 podcast, Plymouth Argyle fan. How are you going, Mike?
Yeah, evening Dave, evening everybody.
Do you know, this fixture hasn't been a fixture for us for a few years now, and we're all plodding down to Plymouth. Hopefully it's going to be a good trip and no bad weather. That's the first thing. How are Plymouth in this division now with Wayne Rooney at the top of the agenda?
Yeah, so it's the surprise appointment, isn't it? That has been the talk of the championship since it happened in the off season. So yeah, look, we were all a bit shocked, Dave, and sort of that's the last thing you expect when we had Liam Rossini, who we were feeling like was going to be a strong contender, and actually we're all hedging our bets for. And then suddenly you see this news announcement and you're like, well, hang on a minute, I need to maybe go back to bed and wake up and see if that's real. Nervous, you're a little bit sort of like, okay, because of his previous at Birmingham, but you look back to his Derby time. But I'm always one of those that likes to give everybody a chance. And even though it is a very out there appointment, so far with the number of games that we're in, he's starting to get the team to play, and we're loving the football that we're seeing.
You had a great result the other weekend against Sunderland, a great result. Let's just go before those results. How has the team been playing up to that point?
Yeah, so obviously we had the disastrous start, which was obviously on Sky TV. So hopefully we don't have a repeat of that on Friday night, where we lost 4-0. And you almost felt, oh, wow, okay, that was a very back down to earth. I was quite positive over the pre-season. We know we don't have the big budget, so we're not, expecting any miracles. But sort of after that game, and Rooney was quite honest, and the players were quite honest. And what was telling, we pointed out, is actually our captain didn't start that game. And then we sort of picked ourselves up and, sort of picked up some points, and the team had started to really play. And you picked up the Sunderland game, that everybody expected us to get beaten quite badly. And it was a fabulous game of football, rough first half, but the second half we really came at them, and it was just incredible. And against West Brom, the best team that they've seen at the Hawthorn so far. So I think that sort of tells you that, Rooney is starting to really settle in with the club and the players. It's really good.
I, for one, was delighted to see the Sunderland result, to be fair. Because they were getting a bit carried away with themselves, in my opinion. But I shouldn't say that because I've got some great friends who are Sunderland supporters. But, it's nice to see that you're mixing it up. What's it like being back in this division? Because we both know that we had some tete-a-tetes, if we can put it that way, in the past. You did beat us to a championship winning team. And that, as I said to you earlier this evening, that gutted me big time. What's it like being back in the championship for you guys?
Yeah, it's, I remember when we went up, last time, and it feels like a distant memory now. And it was a great run of league wins and that back in that time, and sort of. It was great, so my first experience of it, and we enjoyed it, and I say to this day that I think if Ian Holloway hadn't left us for Leicester, then I really do feel that we might have fluked a playoff, and gone up, but it all came crashing down, and that was the sort of painful side of football. But being back up in there again, and staying up last season, on the last game, getting that goal, the captain, Joe Edwards, getting us that goal that secured us in the league. It was brilliant. The first half was fantastic, and there's always a nervousness that you might lose your manager because, Schumacher is a brilliant young manager coming up, and when he did go to Stoke, it really unsettled us. A couple of players went that we had on loan, and our second half of the season, was a disaster. But, we got through it and really enjoying it. And, it is just one of the best, if not the best leagues in world football right now.
It's definitely a difficult league to be in and get out of and stay in, if I'm honest. The Carnival, the Premier League is a bit different, isn't it? But for where we are right now, Luton are quite a stable club. I know we've all had our problems in the past. Are Plymouth in a good position with the management and their owners?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Yes, we are. And I think that's, it's very easy. I alluded to it with the previous ownership. That we didn't have the cash like we do with Simon Hallett. Who's put a lot of personal money into it. But we blew a load of money on Sylvan Ebanks Blake at the time and a couple of others, and we gambled and it didn't pay off. And then obviously the club went crashing down. And just managed to scrape administration. Whereas when Simon Hallett joined a few years ago, and started to sort of, really sort of take a hold, and then became the main shareholder. He's invested in the infrastructure. He's been putting money into setting up what's called the Brickfields, which is a training ground which will help develop the youth team. We've had brand new pitch laid over the break, and he's just very sensible. He won't be everybody's cup of tea, because what chairman is, there's always some that will go, oh, you should be throwing more money at it and taking the risk in this league, which is easy to say when it's not your money. And he doesn't have tens and tens and tens of millions. And he is looking now to bring new investment, because he's beaten his original 5-year plan. He's got a new one in place, but he knows he can only take us so far. But what I know that he will do is, although he's out there looking for investment, he wants to find the right investment that will carry on with the sort of culture and the way that he's tried to set up the club. So we don't just take anybody on who wants to throw a load of money at it. Point at Birmingham as an example. When that's not what he wants and what we don't want as fans. So absolutely full credit to Simon Hallett and what he's done.
It's good to have good owners, as we know from 2020 ourselves. Thinking about the Friday night in Plymouth, come on, that's a long please.
There's worse places you could go.
Well, thank you, Sky, but thank you, Sky, if you want to put it that way. Listen, what should we expect from you guys when we come down to your guy? What should we expect from your team, basically?
Yeah, home park. Yeah, I think you'll be surprised. Obviously, you said, Dave, that you're coming down, which is great. If I take the sort of Sunderland game, for example, and even the Stoke one before that we lost, unfortunately 1-0. We're creating chances. We will start attacking. Yes, you would expect that because we're at home. But we've got the ability now where we're moving the ball well. We're allowing players to sort of move around a little bit to create, mix things up and create some chances. A couple of sort of key players to watch out for me would be Sissoko. He's one of those players that does all the step overs. He can take players on. He's not one, unfortunately, for coming back and wanting to defend, but he loves running down the left wing with the ball there. And if he doesn't just stop and step over and step over and step over and actually get a ball into the box, which he ended up doing the second half against Sunderland, then we will have players that will be in spaces, hopefully, to slot the ball away. So we will certainly go at it. And I'm really looking forward to, if he starts, hopefully the loan signing that we made, Rami Al-Haj, because he's been that creative midfielder that we've been lacking since Azaz has gone. And that's affected the likes of Morgan Whittaker, who's been well talked about in the Championship of moving from us. And he's got a brilliant shot from outside the box. So if he cuts in on that left foot on that right hand side, then you expect the shot to go at goal, because that's normally what happens. So I'm just looking forward. I'm excited because the games recently have been brilliant end-to-end football.
And there's the thing, isn't it? Because you'll get one where it's not that way. I really genuinely hope that we have a fantastic game against each other, and it's end-to-end, and it's entertaining for both sets of supporters, but obviously more us than you guys, if I'm honest. The dreaded, I hate this bit, the dreaded predictions. I'll let you go first. What do you think? How is this going to turn out? Because if Luton play well, I'm hoping we're going to win. If we play like we played the last couple of games, we might struggle. We've ground out a couple of results. I'm hoping that we're going to get one. But what do you think the score is going to be?
So obviously, it's always about making sure you pick your chances away, isn't it? And I think Sunderland, it was the same. West Brom, it was the same. Both teams had great chances, and unfortunately for us, the Hawthorns, they put theirs away, and that sealed the points. I'm going to go 2-0 because I would like us to keep a clean sheet at home. So, and I think we've got the defensive line, the keeper with Dan Grimshaw that we signed after Cooper went to Sheffield United. I think we're capable of keeping you out. My biggest concern is just making sure we create quality chances to be able to pit balls away, and that's where it has slightly lacked. But yeah, I'm going to go a 2-0 home win.
Well, regular listeners of our podcast or watchers of our podcast on YouTube will know that every game this season so far, I predicted 3-0. So I can't really change that. I can't really change the 3-0.
Brave as well away from home, isn't it?
Well, if we get a 3-0 away from home, I'm very drunk on the way back. That's all I can say.
And full of pasties, hopefully.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the pasty, is there? If I'm going to say 3-0, but if in realistic terms, I think it'd be one either way. But 3-0 is my prediction on the main podcast, so I can't really change that. Thank you for coming on. But where can we see your match reaction? Where can we see your stuff?
So we're fairly new to doing this. We have decided to use TikTok as our platform. So you can find us on that at the Block 9 podcast. We do stream off my account because of the following and what you need to be able to do that on TikTok. So I'm known on there as the Crazy Pilgrim. Just history with that sort of name. That's where you can find me. And I have my regular sort of co-hosts on there, Andy the Grumpy Loyal and Carl the Green Giant. And what's great with what we do on TikTok is we can bring people in that can talk and chat to us about the game, as you know, Dave, as having you on just now. And it just creates engagement. We do then sort of download that and put that onto YouTube. We're also on X and Facebook. It's all at Block 9 Podcast. We primarily TikTok is our sort of platform where we live stream. So we don't pre-record. We tend to go live.
What day do you post match reaction on?
Yeah, so it will be generally Sundays, typically now 7:45. And we welcome all fans on, which is great. It's good engagement and it's good fun. As you know yourself. After the show, it tends to be, if I get time before going to work, hopefully sort of Monday evening latest, I will then upload it to our YouTube channel, and it's on all major podcast platforms if you search Block 9 Podcast.
Mike, listen, I know it's been a long night. Thanks very much for coming on for me. I wish you well on Friday, but not so well, obviously, for partisan reasons. Guys, if you're watching and listening and liking this from me on Who Win the Town, please go and look up Mike and follow his guys as well, because it helps every content creator. Mike, thanks very much. Hopefully I might bump into you on Friday, and good luck.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Dave.
Cheers.